In last week's episode number 134, I mentioned I would go over different kinds of common conditions that could be used in an offer. So here I am. Stick around for the 3 most common conditions and the timing they typically take to be fulfilled. The first one I'll cover, and the one that I would say is most common, is the financing condition. This would be where the buyers say to the sellers, "We love the place, we want to buy it, but give us a chance to take our agreement back to the bank and make sure that they'll give us the right loan. And if they don't, we'd like to withdraw our offer." Now, as far as timing is concerned, ultimately you'd want to consult with either your mortgage broker or your bank contact to get their thoughts. But in my experience, the most time I've seen for that condition is usually around 5 business days. And if a buyer is trying to show a seller that they're really serious and that they want to move quickly on things, then it's possible that 2 or 3 business days would suffice, depending on where you were with your financing situation heading into seeing the property and getting the offer ready. The next condition I'll cover is the home inspection. Now, certainly in the Toronto market, this condition hasn't been as common lately because many of the sellers of certainly freehold properties will get what we call a pre-listing home inspection. So they basically have their own inspection for you to review instead of you booking one on your own. But if a buyer is in the position to have this condition, then they'd arrange for a home inspector to come and view the property, provide their professional opinion on whether there are any deficiencies or maybe lack thereof of the home, so the buyer would have a decent general sense as to whether the home's typical systems have any major red flags. Timing for a home inspection condition is usually around 3 to 5 business days. Lastly, for condominium properties, a condition that isn't terribly uncommon would be a review of the status certificate. So having this condition would allow the buyer, with the help of a real estate lawyer, look over the financials, rules, and regulations of the building to see if there are any major red flags that could affect the buyer's wallet or their investment. Timing for a status certificate condition can vary. If the seller doesn't have the certificate ready to produce and it needs to be ordered, then receipt can take up to 10 business days. Once received, buyers typically take around 3 to 5 business days to conduct the review in conjunction with their lawyer. I'll end this video and this topic by saying this. In a very strong seller's market, having conditions can possibly put your offer at a disadvantage compared to competing offers if they exist. There's the potential that you may need to work with your realtor, your mortgage broker, and your real estate lawyer to do your due diligence ahead of making an offer in order to have your bid stand out against others. I'm Jamie Harnish, Toronto Real Estate Navigator with Bosley Real Estate. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you again. Take care.